Welcome to episode 84 of the Epilogue Lady podcast. My name is Bente and I'm coming to you from Vesterålen, northern Norway, where I live with my husband and 3 cats. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook and Etsy as Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Ravelry as Arctic Crafts 65. There is also a group for this podcast on Ravelry, the Arctic Crafts podcast group, where I do prize drawings for make-alongs, and I also have a Ask Me Anything thread where you can ask questions that I either answer there, or if I think they're interesting for other people as well, I'll answer them on the podcast. Well, editing Bente here. Something I forgot to mention in my podcast is that we have a make-along running now, and it's the SpookyMal 2022. The hashtag for Instagram is SpookyMal 2022. And I posted a Bente's bag of holding with the rules and everything, but it's really easy. Anything Halloween, harvest, or Samhain related. It could be the colorway, it could be the pattern, colors, and you can find the rules at the top of the thread in Ravelry, or you can post your pictures on Instagram. And there will be a prize on Instagram, and there will be prizes on Ravelry, and as soon as I figure out what the prizes are, I'm going to show them to you. And then we get back to the podcast again. I also have a Ko-fi page where you can contribute to the podcast to cover postage for prices and stuff like that. Maybe new equipment for the podcast. The first thing I'm going to talk about today is the fact that Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II passed away yesterday. And I want to give all my viewers that are from the Commonwealth, from Britain, Canada, I want to extend my sympathy to you. And the Queen was also an important person for the Norwegian royal family. She was our King Harald's second cousin. And I thought I had to talk about it because it's a big thing. If I didn't address it, I would seem like I was living in a bubble, because all the newspapers all over the world are full with stuff about Her Majesty today. So my deepest sympathy with those of you that viewed her as your queen. And let's hope King Charles will do a good job for the British people and the people in the Commonwealth. Today is overcast, and that's a good thing because of the light, so I'll probably have the colors will probably look good today in my podcast. My good friend Trine left yesterday, and the house feels kind of empty today. It's only me and the cats, but that's usually the case, so I'll probably get used to it sometime during the day or something, but still feels a bit empty. I didn't do a lot of dyeing while Trine was here. I dyed a lot of sugar skulls, this year's Halloween colorway. I'm going to show you that at the end of the podcast in my shameless self-promotion bit. I also dyed up some self-striping that I'm also going to show you at the end of the podcast. And feeling a bit deflated. So I'm not sure how much dyeing I will be doing next week. That depends on how I feel. Hopefully the weekend will be okay, I guess. Hopefully I get some sales in the update on Sunday. And I think that's mainly the problem. And to those of you that won prizes in the Arctic Summer of Socks, your prizes is still here with me. I'm so sorry, but I wanted to wait until I had some orders to ship out to save on shipping. But the shop has been quiet for the last week. Hopefully I get some orders on Sunday so I can ship everything out on Monday. Hopefully. And that's what I wanted to mention at the start of the podcast. So then we can start talking about knitting, I guess. First of all, I'm wearing my latest ranunculus. I have knit several of these. And this one is knit with woolen vine on her nouveau base. And the colorway is tea leaves. And the only reason I could make a sweater out of woolen vine is because I know some really nice people in Canada. My bestie Sue and her friend Selma, Little Big Knits. I've never been able to get some woolen vine yarns, both because she's in the US and buying yarn from the US and Canada gets really expensive because of VAT, and also because whenever she has a shop update, she sells out almost immediately. So my bestie Sue had one skein of this, and she gifted it to me, and then her friend Selma from Little Big Knits also had a skein of this. So she sent me her skein, and then I suddenly had 2 skeins. I've been hoarding it for the longest time because it was sort of precious, but then I decided I wanted to knit really summery ranunculus because this is a single ply and I've used big needles. It's really airy, but I haven't been able to wear it until now because it's still too warm to wear in summer. And even today, it's September, the temperatures have gone down a lot. I still have to have the air conditioning on because I'm wearing this sweater. So hopefully you can't hear the air conditioning. It's on the lowest setting. I can sort of hear it, but hopefully the microphone doesn't pick up on it. But I love this sweater. I've started wearing it quite a bit. I have to have something underneath because it's see-through, but I'm using it. At least I get to wear it now, and I have several knitted sweaters that are lined up to be worn in the following days because it's the temperature, can't talk today, is now I can wear knitted sweaters. I don't wear jackets, I only wear knitted sweaters instead. So that's what I'm wearing. And the first finished object I'm going to show you, it's several finished objects, but it's all for one thing. My good friend Trine, when she was here, she was working on this beautiful crocheted doll's dress. And I got really inspired, and I remembered that this guy was completely naked. So I wanted to dress him up a bit. This is Meet Andreas. That's the Norwegian version of Andrew. He's my special teddy bear because he's the same age as me. When I was born, my 2 years old older sister gave me this as a welcome to the world present, if you will. So he's my age. He was also born in 1965, could be 64 for all I know. And he was, as I said, completely naked. So I wanted to dress him up a bit. And The yarn I've used for this is some merino I've had in stash for ages. I bought it on sale from a Norwegian web store, and it was really cheap, and I've been hanging on to it, and I never could figure out what to use it for. But now I've used it for clothes for my good friend Andreas. He's got stripy flax. That's the only thing I've actually used the pattern for. I knit the newborn version and in the tighter gauge to make it fit him. He's got pants with suspenders, I think you call it, and beautiful green buttons that I got from the local yarn store. And he's got socks. Those were kind of difficult because I had to tailor them to his feet. He hasn't got exactly normal feet, so those are kind of tailor-made. And the jacket I knit completely without a pattern. I have to put him down. I knit this without a pattern. I started at one end. It's knit flat. I started at one end. I increased, and then when I got here, I cast off the stitches for the front part. I knit to fit his back, and then I cast on again the same amount of stitches, and I cast off here and started decreasing, and then I seamed it under the sleeves and down the sides. So he's all dressed up, and he's now getting he's going to be put in the living room on a shelf or something instead of being forgotten in the bedroom. And I think he looks really good. And I realized as I was carrying him around, I always carried him like a baby, either like this or like this when I was carrying him around. So he's still special to me, I guess, even though both of us are getting really old, and he looks it. He looks like he's had a lot of love, and he's had a lot of love, trust me. And this part has been embroidered over and over again several times, the last few times by me. And so meet Andreas, an old friend. So I had so much fun doing that, and I'm sure I'm going to knit him several outfits. I know. I'm knitting outfits for a teddy bear. But I really enjoyed myself doing that. And you should see the dress my friend was making for a doll. It was all lace and really frilly and really princessy with pink ribbons and everything. It was gorgeous. But then again, my friend is really good with the crochet hook, and everything she does is from her own head. She never uses a pattern, and everything she makes is gorgeous. So that was my first FO or FOs. The rest is I have 3 pairs of socks and a shawl. We'll do the shawl first. I showed you this as a work in progress last time, and I finished it, and it's my Bojagi, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, and it's by Knitboop Designs, and I think this one is for me. I love orange, and I think I'm going to put this on top of the shawls I'm going to start wearing soon, so I can use this. And the yarns are Fiber Lily. I think that was Fiber Lily. Sorry, that's not Fiber Lily. It's an Australian yarn. It's Balter.Knit.Wear. And the orange is Tequila Sunrise by Norah George. Norah George, I'm sorry to say, isn't dying at the moment, but I think she's going to come back. But at the moment she's not dying, and that means my remaining Norah George yarn is sort of precious, but I couldn't pay her a bigger compliment than using it, I guess. So I'm going to look through my stash and see if I can make something with only Norah George yarn in it. And the rest of my finished objects are socks. I'm going to show you the ones you've seen as works in progress first. This is the Freddy Beach socks by Nancy Wheeler, and the yarn is Alison Barnes in the colorway Hush. These were a lot of fun to knit. They haven't been blocked, by the way. I'm not sure I'm even going to block them, because I think these are for me, and they, as I normally say, they block on your feet. So these are the Freddy Beach by Nancy Wheeler. And these you've also seen as a work in progress. It's the striped Sporty Shorties by Forest City Knits. And here you have the Fiber Lily. And the green is from Dye Monkey Yarns. And I'm going to start wearing these when I've shown them to you now. I'm going to start wearing these. I really love them, and it's still shorty season. And the last pair of socks I'm going to show you, you've never seen before, and they're still on my acrylic sock blockers because they're not completely dry. I finished these last night. I started these while my friend Trine was here because I wanted to knit her a pair of socks. And I could measure her feet because she was here. The yarn for these are Rusty Ferret, and the pattern is Cozy Autumn Socks by This Handmade Life. I switched needles on the second socks. On the second sock I shouldn't have done because the second sock is a tiny bit looser than the first. So hopefully it doesn't feel weird on her feet, and I wish I could have worked them a bit faster because she left yesterday afternoon and I finished the socks yesterday evening, and now I have to send them now I have to mail them to her. But so these are almost dry, and as soon as they're dry I'm posting them and shipping them off to Trine. And now that I have measured her feet, I can knit her more socks. I knit her one more pair of socks but I'm not showing them to you, both because she took them with her and because I did knit a lot on them. It was a sock snake or sock tube, if you will, that my bestie Sue made for me on her sock knitting machine, and I only put heels and toes in them and ribbing. And I unraveled parts of the sock tube, and I used the same yarn for the heels and toes and ribbing, and the cuffs. So she took them with her, and as I said, I didn't do a lot of knitting on them. I took an extra 20 grams of the yarn that I unraveled because I have another sock tube that one of those colors are in the sock tube itself. So I'm going to make another pair of socks, either for her or for myself. We'll see what I do. So those are my FOs. I only have 2 whips. One is a pair of socks that I've been working on as car knitting and TV knitting, and now I've picked them up again. These are kind of summery colors. I might just put this away and put it in hibernation and pick it up again next spring, because now I'm all fall colors, autumn colors. I'm not sure if but again, this is perfect car knitting and I don't have anything else for car knitting. But I sort of want to cast on a pair of socks with more fall colors, and I have self-striping fall colors. I think I do at least. So these might just be put into hibernation now, and I'll pick them up again in the spring. So those are one of my whips. And the yarn, by the way, is from Comfy Cozy Knits. And I love the colors, but again, they're really summery, so I'm not sure if I want to keep knitting on them. And the contrast I'm using is a gray mini that I had. This is Deep Stash, and it didn't have a tag, so I have no idea where it's from. And the other whip is something I have never shown you, but I've been working on it lately, and this would be a very short podcast if I didn't show you everything I'm working on. So I'm going to show you my granny corner to corner blanket. And I've been working on this quite a lot. Not recently, but so it's starting to get big, so it's about time I showed it to you. This, I really loved knitting this corner to corner. I've tried corner to corner before, but I gave up because it took forever. This is now, I have started squaring this off because I figured it was wide enough. It's not going to be for a king size bed or anything. It's going to be on the couch for when I take a nap, which I don't do a lot, but it's nice to have a blanket. It's the same as my other granny stripe blanket. It's all leftovers, and I'm using magic knots. And the yarns are, as long as it's about 4-ply, I'm using it. And if you want to do, you see this is normal granny stripes. So it's going just as fast as doing a back and forth one, but it's more fun doing this, I think. And if you want to know how to do this, there's loads of tutorials on YouTube for just search for granny corner to corner. Granny striped corner to corner. It's real easy. And you can also find tutorials for how to square it off at one end. So now I have started to decrease on one end, and I'm still increasing on the other end. And when I feel it's long enough, I'll start decreasing on that end as well. And this is, I haven't worked a lot on this in the summer, because when it's getting this big, it's sort of having a blanket on your lap while you're working on it. But now it's getting the right season for starting to work on this again. So that's my granny stripe corner to corner. And I'm going to show you one more thing on this blanket, and that's, I just pulled, and it's this. It's made by my bestie Sue, Crafty97, and it's from her shop, the Tangled Skein CA. She sent me a set of these, and it's trying to loosen this a bit so I can show it to you properly. She sent me an entire set of these, and they're so brilliant because it's not like knitting needles. You can use the same hook for several projects because you can just remove it and start working on something else. So now I remember that for this blanket I'm using a 3.5mm hook, and it's also keeping my loop secure so it doesn't unravel. So these are brilliant. and it's caught in the chair. I'll just drop it on the floor and just keep an eye on Snape so he doesn't start playing around with it. And that was my whips. That's all I have for crafting. And then we're going into show and tell, I guess. I want to show you something or parts of something Trine got for me. We have this shop in STOKMARKNES that sells designer clothing, sort of pricey. And I always go there when they have a sale, because then I can afford it as well. So I buy clothes there sometimes when they're having a sale. And they also have different really nice designer stuff for your kitchen. They have food items. They also have lots of different teas. And they had some teacups that I really, really loved. And this is the first one she bought me. And of course, it's pink. And it's from Pip Studios. And I can assure you, the tea tastes much better when I drink it from this cup. Honestly, it does. And then she decided to buy me another one. It looks like this, but it's a light brown. They had some in yellow as well, but they didn't have this kind of teacup in yellow. They only have mugs. And she bought me a really cute little milk mug, this big, in light blue. But I wanted to show you the pink cup. And so I'm having afternoon tea like a lady these days, in a teacup. And as I said, the tea tastes better. And of course, in those cups, I only have Earl Grey with milk and sugar. I use my mugs for all my other loose leaf teas and tea bags and everything, but those cups, Earl Grey with milk and sugar. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it doesn't feel right to have strange fruity teas and everything in a teacup. So maybe that's just me, but I feel like that teacup requires me drinking black tea with milk and sugar. So that's what I have for show and tell. I haven't gotten anything exciting in the mail. I have stuff coming that I'm going to show you next time. So I'll just start the shameless self-promotion bit. And the first thing I'm going to show you is the Halloween kit for 2022, sugar skulls. And we have stitch markers from the Tangled Skein CA and yarn by me. And I only have this one kit left, just so you know. And it's in the shop now. So if you want the last set of sugar skulls, go and get it. That's what's in the shop. And now I'm going to show you what's coming to the shop on Sunday at 8 p.m. Central European Summertime. I'm going to show you all the sugar skulls at the end. This is Gold Sport, Dark Jewels. It's a dark grey, almost black, with speckles of brighter colors. Dark Jewels isn't normally this dark, but I think it works. This is an 80-20 merino nylon, so you can use it for socks. So Dark Jewels on Gold Sport. That's going to the shop on Sunday. And we have the self-striping. This Sunday it's practically a Halloween update, because everything going into the shop on Sunday, apart from that Dark Jewels and more Fall Symphony self-striping, There's one skein left in the shop, but I'm adding 2 more skeins on Sunday. The rest is Halloween related. I'm adding 3 skeins of last year's self-striping Halloween colorway because it was really popular, so I decided to repeat it. It's a lock, shock and barrel self-striping in the classic Halloween colors neon green, orange and purple. And this green is a neon green. Again, neon green on camera. All greens on camera. Hopeless. And then we're going into the sugar skull. I have sugar skulls on loads of different bases. I actually have it on 7 different bases going into the shop. I have it on zebra sock. I have it on silver sparkle sock, and you can really see the sparkles in this one. I have it on gold sport. I have it on DK. This is my XR merino DK, so it's 80/20 merino nylon. So this is, you can use this for socks. I have it on worsted. And just so you know, these days I'm having a sale for sweater quantity worsted. I'm considering getting a new worsted base, but I need to unload all my old worsted first. So there's 15% off if you order a sweater quantity of worsted, at least 3 skeins. So just contact me if you want a sweater quantity of worsted. I don't have a lot of skeins left, so I have, I think, about 2 sweater quantities. So if you want one sweater quantity in one of my colorways on worsted, contact me on Instagram or on Etsy. And then I have my signature sock base, Polldale, sugar skulls, and I have sugar skulls on merino, fine merino sock. And that's the classic 75/25, 425 meters. And the Polldale is 80/20 Polldale wool nylon, 400 meters per 100 grams. And the Sportway, I forgot to say, is 300 meters per 100 grams. So that's what I have to show for my shop update, my shameless self-promotion. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is my podiversary, because 3 years ago on September 13th, I uploaded my first episode. And I probably should do something for my podiversary, but I just had a giveaway for a sweater. I'm already running a sale in my Etsy shop, and that's kind of the 2 usual ways people celebrate their podiversary, and I don't feel up to it, to be honest with you. I might do something for my birthday instead, because that's also in September. It's at the end of September. So this is sort of my birthday month. But I'll see, maybe I'll do something special for my birthday instead. Maybe a giveaway. We'll see. It's not like I don't feel that it's something to celebrate, that I've actually been doing this for 3 years. And I've got over 1,000 subscribers, and I love doing these podcasts. I might not do a Vlogtober this year. I haven't decided yet, but because I'm in a, well, I'm not sure what you can call it, but it's been sort of a difficult time for me, and talking into a camera every single day, recording every single day, I'm not sure I'm up to it, and I don't want to start Vlogtober if I have to stop halfway through. So there might not be a Vlogtober from me this year, I'll do a Vlogmas, sort of. I'm going to do the same thing I did last year. I'm going to record a little bit every day, and then I'm going to post once a week. That's probably the way I'm going to do it this year as well, because that wasn't too much work. It was only, and I edited and uploaded on Sundays. So I think I'm going to do the same thing this year. But again, Vlogtober, I can't see that happening this year. Maybe I'll do some extra Bente's bag of holding if something particular is happening, but Halloween isn't a big thing in this country. And I don't have any Halloween calendars because I've sent everything off. I'm also going to ship off the Christmas advents sometime soon. I think next week I'm going to pack everything. I might need 2 days to do that. And as soon as I'm finished packing them, I'll just ship them off, I think. End of September is sort of the deadline because I'm thinking 8 weeks to be sure that everything is there by December 1st. So that is something for next week, I think, because I have everything ready. All the extras are lined up. So it's just a question of clearing the dining room table and packing everything. So that's for next week. Instead of starting on yet another epilogue, I'm going to finish it here, start editing, and start my weekend. And I think I'm going to cast on something new, just because. I have yarn in stash, and I have things lined up that I want to cast on. So that's probably in the cards for today. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. I hope you have a really nice weekend. Bye bye.